The world of MHA fans. How are you doing? This is the Church of MHA Season 5, Episode 10. My Hero Academia, Chapter 422, live reaction and discussion. We are back. We are so back. We're, in fact, back like no other. Back like it's nobody's business. I've already read the Kakarabachi chapter today. It was nice. Another nice. My boy Chiro keeps impressing me. Make sure everything's set up and ready to go. We'll get this stream posted in the Discord. I hope you guys have had a great time since I've last seen you. And for those of you who are actually decent mothers, happy Mother's Day. For those of you who are not good mothers, get your weight up. To my wife, another happy Mother's Day because she needs to hear it on air too. Love you, baby. Now, it's episode number 4 and Tiger Blaster. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What up, madman? I got my people coming in. So we left off with the young Deku about to do his best, putting us all into it. Sparks of One for All still coursing through his body. His arms rejuvenated. Which also, so I haven't bothered with watching the second episode yet, but I was very happy with the execution of the first episode of season 7.
What are you
That's
talking
all
about?
right. I only watched the first episode, but it was done very well. I do need to slip the second episode in just so I can go ahead
Hmm.
and see that because I do think it's going to be done better than the internet likes to act like MHA episodes are done, of course. But that's kind of always been the case. What up, J. Michael
Fortunately,
Holmes?
fortunately, it's the opposite for this week. People have been loving the new episode.
Good. They should love every episode, even the ones that
Absolutely.
are stickers. Love them. Got a limited time with this, which I've realized is that one thing that I definitely think we should do
Hmm.
is after the final chapter is released, because I've seen people talk about my prediction of MHA being 42 volumes might actually end up being correct, which if it is, it's fucking hilarious because I kind of just pulled it out of my ass. Um,
It was not founded in facts.
but if it goes down that way, I realize like maybe a month or two after the series is over so that people have enough time to truly do like a full reread. Kind of
Hmm.
want to do a retrospective stream. I was thinking about doing a retrospective video anyway, but I know that's going to be a project, so I was going to probably do a retrospective on each act in 3 parts if I
Hmm.
can do that, and then maybe do something. I also finally started downloading games on Steam, so I have a controller to go with my computer.
Ooh.
It was cheap, just to see. So maybe I'll take the time to either learn how to do it or have my wife do it for me and have the OBS set up so that I can stream some
Hmm.
Street Fighter 6 or something. It's been a
Oh,
while.
that's
It's
so
been
sick.
years since I've played fighting games, so
Hmm.
currently just playing through like arcade modes and like getting used to the mechanics in the game. But who knows? Maybe some a little something extra.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, but yeah, and for gaming, always if you do have interest in that, let me know. But YouTube, or if you want me to switch that over to Twitch and keep this as manga only, manga media takes only, let me know because I can switch it over. If you want like a second YouTube channel that's just centered on games, let me know. Um, I don't care if this is an all-purpose channel or if it's if you guys want different things across platforms or whatever, just let me know. All right.
Hmm.
But now I'm gonna just hop into the chapter. We got enough people here as far as I'm concerned. All right. Opening line is can't stop twinkling. Deku. Oh no, Aoyama. Run, Midoriya. Shiraku. Oh, ew. So we opening up with something that look a little messy. Hi, little baby. Hi. What you fussing about? Give me five. I need you to hang out with mommy for a couple seconds. She's gonna put some clothes on you so you're not naked, baby, on stage. Oh, you should be able to walk her, baby. Right. So while we wait for my daughter to return so she can hang out with us today, uh, Shuriku. All right, so look, it looks like this man is falling apart.
He crumbling to
Go,
pieces.
yeah, like going against his programming seems that, which kind of makes sense. It might come with a self-destruct feature. I wouldn't be surprised. Uh, but yeah, run. Okay, so we got tentacles and all kinds of shit flying everywhere. Man is wilding. Okay, that looks like Yoshindo with his knife. That might be Mina. That's the girl who has the telescopic body. But everybody's here pulling up. All the extras.
And all for
Nothing.
one's eyes.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got a snipe. Onomatopoeia. All right, everybody's trying their best. Ba ba bam. All right, I like that. Ba 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 bam. Nothing's hitting home. He's too tough. And we got Kami and the dude that's made out of hair whose name escapes me right now. Blood King Vlad. So I know Coyote's excited about that. Unlike Awful One, this one's totes for not falling for my rage-bait illusions. Carve a path. One straight to Shigaraki. We see Cementos, and I don't think we've been exposed to this girl before, but maybe we have.
You mean the
Wait,
girl next to
wait, no,
Cementos?
that's the girl from
The
class
2A.
two. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
her puffs being bigger than they were last time threw me off. My Omni Factor Unleashed is not the result of giving in to base emotion. Rather, this augmentation is me exercising control and authority over my myriad powers. As such, do not presume you have me outnumbered. And we see
Pew.
the fucking rivet spikes getting launched everywhere, giant laser cannons. The man is just doing his best to go in. Hagakure. Ooh. Just grabbing the laser and redirecting it straight back at all for one. Laserish stuff. I'm your gal. And she's got Aoyama's cape. So now, okay, so now she's only like somewhat uh invisible girl. I'm assuming she'll be able to with practice. Like it seems like her quirk is moving more around like the idea of like light refraction.
Mm-hmm.
And now that she's been getting better at like actively choosing to refract light, her body is doing it like less extreme versions subconsciously
Mm-hmm.
because she's always wanted to be seen because she hated the fact that like nobody could see her and she's kind of been like insecure about like her looks while simultaneously not being visible. So I think this is an interesting development for her quirk so that her quirk is evolving so that she has to manually turn invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that baby. You wearing daddy's cowboy bebop shirt? Mwah.
That
That
sure is
daddy.
fire.
Yeah, my genie beanie. Mwah. So I think that's actually a great development for her quirk. Is
Mm-hmm.
that if you have somebody who's only invisible part of the time instead of all the time, it actually is harder to tell when they'll be gone. So that's a lot better for her. And in addition to that, it'll make it so that she doesn't have to be naked because in theory she could refract the light further away from her body
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that it would be like the light above her clothes instead of just on her skin. So all
She'll
right.
be like the scene from Harry Potter where it's just Harry's head with the
Yeah.
invisible cloak.
Yep. Electromagnetic railgun. All right. We got a Kaminari. Hey, what you doing? That's a camera. See the camera? I'm not. Yeah, that's a camera. Ready? And we see her firing a railgun. Don't ever change, Kaminari. He's got the yay,
Way.
insolent little. And then we got Sero. and Sato, and we got Drill Boy, Haibara, or Subar. I can't remember what his name was. We got Tailman and Koda, Beast or Gavu, along with uh wow, Vine Girl, whose name just fell out of my head.
Ibarra.
Ibarra, there we go. But what I like about this is Deku is like, leave them alone. And it's like, nope. Hagak, nope. Like, you don't need to be worried about Hagakure. Don't need to be worried about uh it's just a smorgasbord of no, you don't need to worry about your classmates here. They're here to back you up, which circles back to what, Shoji asked him all the way back at the beginning of this act. If you are honest and you would say like that first Deku alone arc is um the beginning of it, like, do you just see us as victims? We are here to make it easier for you to cut a path and all this other stuff. Like they told him directly, this is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to be.
Hmm.
So you're already on your last legs. Save your strength. Go on, because only your strength can sock it to him. So let us tank these hits. And we got Sue here. Mommy, Daddy, look, it's sis. You see her? Sue you. Do your best, Sue. Shoji. Oh, it's the girl he saved.
Hmm.
You could do it, Shoji. See, you could do it, Shoji. Yeah. You can do it. Mwah. That's my daughter. The rest of us aren't agile enough to weave past these brutal attacks, but we can still carry you part way there. Thanks, Shoji. You too, Sue. Show some guts. All right, so I'm guessing this is going to be Tetsu Tetsu, but maybe not. Oh, yep. Okay. So yeah, that's um wow. Red Riot. What the is that Mina? Yeah, I guess it
Hmm.
is Mina. Yeah, that's the horns. I'm trying to recognize the jackets.
The guy
That's
behind them is Factum.
Oh, yep, that's L in Mina. That's right. A
Hmm.
in Mina. Because they call him a major. You got this, dude. Get it done. I will. Why? All I see are carcasses soon to be carrion. Why do they refuse to lie down and die? There's little life to their weary movement, yet their eyes. If their eyes, if nothing else, just staring them down, trying to figure it out. He finds himself helplessly watching. Conferring this power to someone so worthless was a mistake. Right, Midoriya? Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya, it's your weakness. Do your utmost, boy. As we see him get the extra spring. We got Death Arms. You can do this. Contrasting with his mwah, chapter one. But you gonna clap my face? Clap, clap my face. That's not right. Clap, clap is for hands. It was something All Might lacked. Do your best. A weak, feeble strength that spurs these vermin to stand back up so doggedly. Not the Kotaro cameo, this man. Here, Midoriya, get in there. Beat my son's ass one last time for me. That will not perish so long as you keep moving forward. I thought our ejector seats were disabled, but here we are. I take it that was your doing, All Might? Those kids are hoping for absolute victory, so I'd rather keep our losses to a minimum. Coming from you, that's rich. Midoriya kid, that day when you dove into the fray, my body took action as well. Yes, ever since that day. Yo!
The goats.
Movie fans winning. Movie fans winning. Uh, Movie fans winning. No? No dancey dance?
Oh, it looks so good seeing Rhodey in like Hori's
It's
art style in the manga.
a daughter.
We really are winning.
Do your best, says Melissa. Yes, you can do it, man. From Rhodey and the fam. And that resolute focus on his little bird. Do you recall our first day as we left school? In this moment, I understand so clearly what she meant. Hang in there. Oh, Ida did make it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he actually using his engines? Oh, they look like they're sputtering. They don't look like they're in the best condition, but he's helping. You know what? Props to Ida, man, because he had every right to get to sit this one out, um, based on damage, but he's going forward anyway. Oh, little baby. In this moment, I understand so clearly what she meant. Hang in there. What? Almost at the hospital, Uraraka. Okay, we got Ragdoll, Uraraka. You can do it. Everyone's doing their best down there. But Deku, well, hey, hey, what's wrong? It just screams, do your best. I kind of like it. Yeah, Gene, you gotta like it. You sleepy girl. You need another nap? Hmm? What? What's wrong? Yeah, Deku going up. Send every hero we've got over to Japan pronto. But Mr. President, if All for One wins today, you would be putting our nation's security in jeopardy. Like I give a damn. Just do it. I hear them all calling to me. We see Shoto. You can do it. Do your best. We got the guy that gave his shirt up. We got Suka Uchi. Get it done from Pussycat Dolls. Right? Not Ragdoll.
Tiger.
Yeah. Do it, man. Which is from Can't You See Kun. You can do it, Coda. The newscaster that trimmed off his horn and is hated by mutants for playing into discriminatory policies, and the dude that was out there on the phones on the internet talking about where's one for all, what is it? Yellow, do your best. You got this. I know you can. From a Gran Torino,
Good
uh,
impression.
do your best, Deku. You can do it. You got this. Do your best. Oh man, this image of All Might's hand with Deku hopping
Mm-hmm.
over it. You've been my greatest hero. Do your best, Izuku. And he's coming in with that clean right straight. Izuku Midoriya Rising, chapter 422 of My Hero Academia.
Peak.
Man,
I just
what's
gotta
up?
say, um, it looks like Deku's hitting Black Flash, and I can comfortably say he does a Black Flash better than 90% of JJK. That's my agenda.
Also, what I like about this is that this is Deku. Uh, like yeah, his hair is spiked up, but it's not filled with the color. So it's not
Hmm.
like Super Saiyan Deku like we've been getting. It's this is Midoriya through and through with the All Might T punching him straight in the heart. So I'm excited. Let's
I
see
don't know if
what's
you
up.
paid if you noticed it, but the opening and this episode, or not episode, chapter goes hand in hand with like them pushing Deku forward.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I did notice like everybody's giving him his like acceleration. It also reminded me
Hmm.
of when they were creating the slingshot for Ida to catch up to him.
Yes.
So
Oh, it's such a good chapter.
yeah, no,
Like
this is
not only does it go in tandem with like the 12 opening, but like throughout the entire war arc, and especially the last few chapters, it's been just one big love letter to who Deku is. Um, with the entire
yeah.
world cheering on Deku by chanting the true meaning of his name. Um, it's just like
Okay.
any person who loves Deku and have followed his journey get rewarded with this chapter.
Okay, so Cameron Bailey,
Hmm. Let me see.
I need you to get better people in your life, respectfully. Because if somebody like first off, Momo Rising chapter isn't even a bad chapter. But if someone genuinely is saying that this chapter is worse than the Momo Rising chapter, they have hit a point where they are either extremely disingenuous with the way they're operating with like reading the series. They're reading like under like a lens of very bad faith, or they just really, and I mean really, really, really like Momo because this chapter and like the whole this last like Thomas was saying this past like 5 to 10 chapters have just been like a dedication to who Deku is, the way his
Mhm.
heroism has impacted others, how it moved. I don't want to eat your sloppy fingers, man. Oh, 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 oh. Wait. Mm. See? Boop, boop. Yeah, you got boop. But like this has been a complete love letter, as Thomas was saying, like a dedication to who Deku is as a hero, and even
Mhm.
more importantly than that, the way his heroism impacts those around him, how it is shaping the society going forward, and how their heroism will be. Because you see people, because back when All Might was a hero, like the thing is that feeble strength that All For One is referring to here is the trope that gets made fun of so much in shonen, but is being executed so well here. Just like that power of friendship, where the fact that All Might stood alone against All For One means that every single one of these blows, every single one of these things that he would have tried to launch at All Might, he would have either had to dodge himself, throw a huge punch to hit, and all this other stuff. Whereas Deku here gets to save up energy, having everybody else dodge, block, and
Mhm.
effectively get hit for him. Instead of being society's shield and spear here, he is their spear and they are his shield.
Mhm.
So Deku finally uniting the heroes to never just sit there and be like, oh, well, he's the chosen one. And like, and that's the beauty of it, right? Is that like Bakugo's behavior and reactions to understanding that Deku received the quirk from All Might and is effectively the chosen one was foreshadowing for how all of society would inevitably play around his fate as a chosen one, right? Because Bakugo goes like, okay, you're the chosen one, but I'll go even higher than you. You're the chosen one. Cool. That doesn't matter to me. And even though people have been a lot more respectful about rejecting Deku's destiny as like the chosen one within the context of the story, it's still the same premise of even if you are supposed to be the chosen one, even if you are the baton wielder of One for All, you are the one destined to take on All for One. We will be here with you when it
Mhm.
matters most, and we will fight at your side because you are still one person. And specifically, you are a person. You don't need to do it all alone.
Mhm.
And there's no reason for us to sit here and watch you as a 16-year-old fucking carry this burden by yourself. How could we stand to call ourselves heroes if we would let a child do that? Even if we are children heroes ourselves, we as heroes, it is inexcusable if we let you carry this baton alone. That's part of the significance of Death Arms coming out, right? It
Mhm.
is inexcusable for him with somebody who sounded, you don't have what it takes. You're an idiot, renegade. You're a bozo. Man, everybody say me. Where is me? Something that Deku had been experiencing his entire life. Something that Deku got cooked the same day. Was told to Yeetus Deletus himself off a roof
Mhm.
by the guy being harassed sexually by a giant slime villain who was determined to get inside him. Full did he? And Deku said, "No, bro, this ain't one of them Diddy parties. Bakugo is telling you no, and I'm telling you no." And Death Arms was like, "Well, you know, oh my God, it's scary, ooh, ooh." Like, no. So Death Arms, 2 years later, got to sit there and be like, "Here's my humble pie. Nope, 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 nope. I learned that I ain't shit, never was shit, couldn't be shit. But you can. You're the greatest. World's greatest. That's you. Got to put full respect on it."
When you look at the panel itself, when like Dead Arms is looking straight to Deku when he's running. It's an exact replica of chapter one, where Dead Arms is like, "Get back here, you fool!" And what does he say now? Like a year later, you can do this.
Put that respect on his name,
Mhm.
bro. They
And
playing
when you look
games.
at like Kirishima this chapter, when he comes in with Mina and says, "You got this, dude." Like Kirishima has been inspired by Deku before he met Deku. Back in chapter 322, when Kirishima caught Deku, he mentions that he heard a story that threw him for a loop, a kid his age dashing into danger to save a pal. And it's always stuck with him.
Told him straight up, like, and that's the beauty, right? Is that technically,
Mhm.
it, even before Deku had a quirk, he was inspiring people.
Yes.
Like he was moving people. He was moving the masses. Ain't that right, Genie Beanie?
Mhm.
So MC means move the crowd. Hey, hey, hey.
Like, I'm
You get
sorry, if you're gonna look at me and tell me Deku's a bad character and he's a bad protagonist, I'm gonna look at you funny. Like,
like,
this is what a protagonist should be doing.
and that's the thing too, is that so often the
Mhm.
main characters, I would say like too hard, where
Mhm.
people often just acquiesce, like, oh, breaks main character Sama, let me get on my knees and
Save me, Ichigo Kurosaki.
like, well, no, that was done right.
No, that was done right. I just had to mention that.
But well, I guess what I said also ended up happening later since they have a kid. But
Mhm.
that, but like, I'm sorry, y'all. My wife just like, uh, but a lot of times you have like full grown men being like, yes, main character Sama, you are the chosen one. Like,
Mhm.
bro, all right, understand that I put a lot of respect on you know basically being one of the strongest, like arguably like top two Clover Kingdom wizard. But when William Vaughn just gets stuck him right there on the battlefield, like you are the new leader that goes, bro, which maid are you?
He's
You're
been
supposed to be motivated.
he's been showing how bitch made he is like the entire like honestly two sagas.
Like, you telling me you see this nigga move, and instead of you being like, let me get my shit together, get upstage with my vice captain, you see, nope, instant promotion. I'm done. I'm not a leader anymore. Follow him. I'm out. Bro, you're a veteran. Use that veterancy. Be a leader.
That's some supreme art of like shoe shining I've ever seen. Um,
Like, I wouldn't care if he gave him the promotion after the
mhm.
battle, right? Like, if they were like, because, like, whatever. It doesn't seem like Yuno's going to go become the king of the Spade Kingdom, apparently, none of that. But, like, bro, respect yourself. Like, take some credit for it as a mentor. Do something, bro. Don't... So, like, having these people who are like fighting alongside Deku actually move forward, be inspired, people from both classes, people who like, because like what I like about this is that all these people know that they've been power clipped. Like they know, like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna technically get back, catch up to this. Uh, but they're like, there's something I can be doing to
Mhm.
make this easier for him. Because I still don't want him doing it alone. That's
Yes.
all I want to do is make sure he's like, and like the Madman just said, they like there are times when main characters get treated like a god rather than a person, child, or ally, and that's the thing that is especially jarring in this scenario. The upside, I guess, is that like for the Black Clover example, was technically 18, but here's the thing
Mhm.
about being 18, right? Like you're an adult, but like
You're
by the
still
time by the time you're 25, you'll be like, yeah, I was an adult, but I wasn't like an adult.
mhm.
Like there's levels to being an adult.
It's just a label at the end of the
Like
day. Um, but I do want to say that um, Kendra couldn't come onto the stream.
Yeah, I know she's sick.
Um, yeah, she was sick, but she sent me a message.
Okay, good, good,
Um,
good. I told her to
and
send
she
one of us a
said,
message.
yes, she said, just tell the stream that this chapter was beautiful. And still peak caused me to lose my voice, though. But seriously, though, the accumulation of Deku's character has been building up to this moment ever since the Dark Deku arc. The introspection that people wanted is there and has been for a while now. All Might's relationship with Deku has got to be the best in the series for me. All Might saying that Deku has been his greatest hero since that day has caused so much emotional damage within me that I don't know how to articulate my feelings without crying. One of the best chapters of the series. And if y'all see Kendra on the timeline, make sure to send her love.
Real. Getting easy, that's the homie.
We love Kendra. But yeah,
Man,
absolutely agree with her.
I want y'all to know I just stumbled on an image of Shigaraki with the wings all beat up.
hmm
Captioned, in any shape or form, he can still get this motion.
Oh, I was like, wait, motion, and then it clicked.
I was
Um,
like, because I just like went on to
ooh.
make sure like I sent the message to people who could do it.
Also, this chapter, like I said with the opening, it goes in tandem
Mhm.
with the chapter in the opening, obviously. But also in this chapter, it's perfectly aligned, obviously Saturday, Sunday, whatever. But uh is it E10? I believe that's the name, said Star was his greatest hero. And here you have All Might saying Deku's his greatest hero. And I love how Hori like, because like I believe 2 weeks ago we mentioned that, or was it last week? I can't remember. That like Hori most likely is in cahoots when it comes to like aligning chapters with the episodes. And he does
Yeah,
it very well, shockingly well. I think it's effective here.
no, they definitely utilized him very well here.
Who, Kaminari?
Wait, what?
Absolutely. Kaminari is definitely
What?
well
Oh
used.
yeah.
Like he's not wasted potential at all. I do think like when you compare him to like other like lightning and electricity users, he's not the most impressive, but like he
Okay.
doesn't have to be.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Let's talk about that real quick, which is that some of the characters that are labeled wasted potential in MHA are just people, ironically enough, uh, kind of failing the message of the series here, and they're looking at their
Mhm.
quirks instead of who they are as people.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like Kaminari is a lightning user,
Mhm.
and is he a super cool swagadocious rawness, hotness, heat fiction lightning user? No. Like, yeah, no, he's not Laxus or Kahlua,
Mhm.
but that's not who he's written to be.
Mhm.
So like, do we solely base like character potential off of what quirk they have? That seems kind of like the antithesis to the theming of the story.
Mhm.
Uh,
I stumbled across a YouTube short about that, right? Where this person was like, Ida's quirk is um what's the word? Is the worst in the series because he's been outclassed by other heroes in terms of speed. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, sure, of course. Like he's not the fastest in the series, but that doesn't mean his quirk is useless because he's a rescue hero. And not only that, it makes sense with his character arc. So I feel like a lot of people they don't not really with paying attention to the story, but they're more interested in power scaling and they're more interested in like, oh, what if my favorite electric user is better than your favorite electric user? Like he can beat Killua in a fight. He won't, but you know
Also,
what I mean?
I want to say something about power scalers because there's like two types of power scalers. Um, there's people who are very disingenuous and they do that whole, well, according to this, my calculations, you did this attack is going to reach the planet. And like there's people who are just like trying to find ways to say their character is the strongest thing out there,
Hmm.
blah 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 blah. And then there's a second category, like where the idea of like who these characters could beat or fight um is like fun, but they're gonna try to stick to like the actual canon representation of things. Like, so for example, they're not gonna automatically say anybody who's ever dodged a laser is light speed. Hello, that's like the camp that I'm in here, where I recognize that lasers are almost never utilized or calculated in a manga or anime to actually be light speed.
Hmm.
They just
Unless it's
aren't.
outright stated.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, hey,
they just
Coyote.
Oi, how you doing?
like so you got to figure out which of the two you're talking to. Because if you're talking to one of the first sets, you're any conversation you have is probably going to be fruitless. If you're talking to the second set, you're going to have a way more interesting conversation,
Hmm.
in my opinion. Like people who are talking about like, well, this is what they do, this is how they move, this is their character, this is what they would or wouldn't do in
Hmm.
these situations. Which is why, like back in the days, you used to have people who like would clarify like bloodlusted or not. Because if they're not bloodlusted and they're not absolutely going for the kill, that changes how this person fights.
Hmm.
Like bloodlusted Bakugo versus regular Bakugo is going to hit you with two very different sizes of explosions. And I think that's like one of the easiest examples. Same with Shoto. If
Hmm.
Shoto's like, I don't care if you die, well, you might just get lit on fire. If he does care, you might only be encased in ice and then, fall out. One of the two.
Yeah. I also so I'm looking at what Andrew said. I do see where you're coming from, but not all manga, not all authors should or like, it's imperative for them to have all their characters reach their full potential or strongest. Like we look at Hunter x Hunter, for example. Gon and Killua aren't at their most potential. They aren't at their strongest. They're actually one of the weakest characters in the verse, but it's their stories, it's their characters, it's their arcs that make them interesting, that makes them reach that like full potential. Because I feel like a lot of people look at potential, right? And they look at it through the lens of, oh, are they potential man or are they not potential man? Um, I feel
If
like a lot
you're
of characters that people push like the agenda, like they haven't reached their potential. I would argue they have, but not in power wise, just as a character.
I
And
don't
that's the
know.
thing is that power levels aren't actually the priority in stories. Even in action stories, the priority is not the power level. The power level is merely a check mark for the author to tell you when this character can take on this specific obstacle. Think of it as like leveling in a video game where, yes, you want to grind for levels or you want to grind for gear, uh, but the reason why you're playing the game isn't solely to grind. Like,
Mhm.
for example, I am a big fan of Monster Hunter. I don't know if you guys remember when Monster Hunter Rise came out a few years
Mhm.
ago. I talked about that a lot. Did a couple hunts with my wife this weekend. We started back playing a little bit of Monster Hunter.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. We love that.
Monster Hunter is something that, like that game, you have to be willing to grind. But
Mhm.
your goal, technically, is to get to the Elder Dragons, take them down, and hopefully be able to create an armor set and like reach the peak of like that's a game where your power level is but also not because there's still a story that you're trying to stop these dragons from effectively destroying the world or at least this village or this area. So like the gear and stuff that you're fighting these monsters to get is more about like the missions you're going on is about what how these monsters impact the environment. Like if, for example, when you go to take on Magna Marshmallow, it's because he's directly causing stampedes that cause like villages to get destroyed or like the gates to get destroyed and all kinds of other stuff, and you need to prevent that. Yes, you will kill Magna Marshmallow. Yes, you will get his armor set. Yes, maybe you'll create the layer set because it's real drippy. But like you're not playing like the point of the story isn't, hey, we want you to go get armor made out of Magnum Marshmallow. If you're not playing using the right weapon, you might not even want that armor set. But
Mhm.
the point is, you still need to go beat that guy. So like I think maybe people need to conceptualize it like in video games. Power levels are tools to get you through the story. They are not the reason the game exists, though.
Mhm.
Like even in fighting, like the only exception to that is like fighting games. And even then, you're not going to grind power levels. You're grinding skill to learn how to play, to get better at executing and being reliable. That's like so it's like you have to move it to a specific sub niche genre in order to do that. But like with books, with stories, with movies, the power level isn't the goal. It's murking whoever pissed off the MC at the end of the day. That's the goal. So every time you see him get stronger, what you need to be looking at is it in relation to the power level that we know. Like, for example, we knew at the start of the series that All Might was so powerful he could punch someone and change the weather. So we
Mhm.
knew that like the power level goal or whatever All Might was supposed to be able to do, even if he couldn't do that with raw strength, we knew that's where Deku was headed. We knew he was going to be that nigga, that powerful. We don't care necessarily about like even the percentages. Like it's like okay, he's getting that close, much closer to being like at the full capability, not hurting himself when he uses the spark, et cetera, et cetera. And like think about that. Part of it is just like removing suffering from Deku is what we're really looking forward to with his power level increasing. So it's not even like a oh like I only want no like we're actively hoping that he gets something else done so that he can like move and operate better. So for me personally, I just think when you look at like the potential of a character, you have to look at what their narrative framing is, not what their power level or
Mhm.
potential power level could be. Is really what I'm
Uh,
saying here.
I don't know, because like if we go by narrative standpoints, like I would argue like Mina is wasted potential if we go narrative because out of
I
nowhere
would agree.
yeah, is
Because
like
I would say that like her like okay, I think she does have a story arc and it is executed, but I think that it feels like, and I said this when that chapter with the Gatsumaki came out, it felt like that chapter was three chapters that got merged into one.
Mhm.
So I think that Mina is specifically a character that you can say she did not get the full potential of what her narrative setup was supposed to be.
yeah, and even then, even without narrative setup, I'm not gonna mention like what they do, but narratively, Takuma Ino from JJK, I think even though he doesn't have much in the story, I think he went way above his potential and showed
Absolutely.
that you don't really
Like
need much to be
He's one
like,
of the most impressive characters in JJK.
yeah.
with Eno, I actually thought like the second um which spoilers like by now you've watched season 2 of JJK if you watch JJK. After Nanami's death, Eno got like an extra layer of potential that would never exist as long as Nanami is alive.
Agree, yeah.
So I think Gege did utilize that very well.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh yeah, now there's a new layer to his character because that person who he looked up to is dead. So I think that you can add like, and that's kind of how Mina's story is, right? Like she doesn't have much to work with until Midnight dies.
Mhm.
But I would say that Ino was executed a bit better than Mina,
Mhm.
just because like the idea, the framework for Mina, I was already like, yeah, this is where this is gonna go. Uh, but that condensed chapter experience just didn't
Mhm.
like that. Didn't like how that was handled. Still like the overall like premise of that story arc, but like it just
Yeah.
wasn't
Mhm.
And I
like
also
it
agree
just
with
needed more
Tyler.
space.
Tyler says potentially subjected to what people want for that
Yeah.
specific character. I
Yeah,
agree because like everyone likes what happened to Ida right now, but for me, I think he's kind of wasted potential, and
Mhm.
that's fine. Like you said, it's all subjective, which is very
Yes.
100% true on what Tyler said. It's
I
all
um
subjective what you want for a character.
I mentioned in the chat that one of the characters that I was about to say, or at least I tossed them into a chat, was Shiro Emiya from Fate. I rewatched Unlimited Blade Works, and for the first time, I watched Heaven's Feel. And obviously, each route, because Fate is split up into routes,
yeah.
they're all different takes on the main character, Shiro, and his dynamics with the main female character, either Saber, Rin, or Sakura. It's not a perfect series. By me personally, I when I rewatched Unlimited Blade Works, my impression of him like vastly improved because he isn't the strongest master in the entirety of Fate, right? He's the most impressive, but I do like his journey as a hero of justice. I do think for me personally, he reached his potential. I know a lot of people would disagree, um, but for me personally, I enjoyed his story.
Look, you know what I gotta say to that?
Are you not a big fan?
I am the bone of my soul. Steel is my
Steel is my
body,
body, and
and
fire is
fire
my
is my
blood.
blood.
It's
I
so
have hit
cool.
where 1,000 laid, unaware of loss, nor aware of gain. All my life has been unlimited. What? Yeah, no, I actually really liked your idea.
Mhm. I love his dynamic with Archer, and like I know a lot of people don't like Cinderace. I enjoyed Rin. Um, it's a great like what is it like 25 episodes for season one and season two all together.
Yep.
And it was a great viewing experience, especially if you enjoy hero stories.
One of my favorite things, he was like, kill yourself right now. And it's like,
He tossed the blade towards him.
kill yourself. Bro, what?
Low tier
Yes.
god.
Kill yourself
Um,
so that I'm less miserable.
I will say I watched both sub and dub for it, like to compare. Um, and it really hurt because there is one of the servants. He is Lancer. His name is Cú Cullen, and he's Irish. A lot of the Lancers are heroes of Ireland. So hearing them pronounce Hugh Holland, um, I was sitting here like, no, that's not how you say it. And you just talk with a grandiose American accent. It hurts.
Well,
Um,
so the you know what the narrative excuse gets to be?
hmm?
That every time the servants are pulled to a specific time, they're given a bunch of information about the era just naturally, magically, so they can
Yeah.
effectively communicate. So just chalk it up to like no matter what, like depending on the dub, it doesn't
But they're in Japan.
look. I said depending on the dub.
Yeah, depending on the dub. Um,
So it's like right, like when you watch a show in Japan with a bunch of stuff from another country, you
yeah,
just expect it to be inaccurate.
yeah,
Don't expect it
exactly.
to be accurate. And
But
whether
yeah,
it's inaccurate on purpose or not, who knows?
mhm.
But
I enjoyed it.
also,
Um,
Lancers get done dirty
oh, absolutely. In every fucking
every
route.
iteration, every story. Like if
Hmm.
you are a Lancer, you will live the Lancer trope. You will
Yeah,
suffer.
like Dear Mid. But he was so cool though. That's one of the biggest like upsides of Fate. Like Lancers are they have a great story arc. It's just like it's done dirty, but you still feel satisfied with them. Because I enjoyed Dear Mid's story in Fate Zero.
Oh yeah, Fake Zero is probably my favorite
Hey, good morning,
between.
guys.
Hey,
Hey
what up?
Seth.
Between
Jeez.
Long time no
Zero Blade
see.
Works and Apocrypha, Zero is
Hmm.
probably my favorite. But that's because
I still need to watch
MES my favorite.
Apocrypha.
Like Kiritsugu MES my favorite, hands
Hmm.
down.
Absolutely.
I used to have his saber, like his wallet, like a wallet with his saber icon on it.
Oh, that's so cool.
All right. What up, Seth? So, what
Hey
were you
Seth.
thinking of this chapter?
Um, it was actually pretty I was actually pretty somber reading this chapter because I just you have the feeling by the end of it that this is basically it. Like the series is coming to an end that and like I love the moment and everything. It's just like uh the feeling set in like wow. It's like we're gonna get It's like remember that feeling when Deku had when All Might said you're next and how sad he was because he knew All Might was done. It's that feeling. Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Um it was still good though seeing everyone's support for him. It really was like the new OP that we got, which was great. So I mean, I was really happy for that. And it looks like the fight won't be dragged out in any significant way, it seems like. It looks like we're getting right to Deku's final clash with All for One, and I'm here for it. I'm just also sad because again, like, yeah, that means that there's really not much left to go here. Probably another Vestige World battle, I suppose. But we shall see. I'm guessing like his own version of United States of Smash, probably plus Ultra.
Yeah, I'm expecting something called like Final Smash. I don't want it to actually end up being his Final Smash, but I'm expecting Final Smash.
Yeah,
I
probably
just,
something like that.
but I want it to be a kick smash. That's one thing that I definitely want is like for it to actually be like a kick. Just because he spent so much time developing shoot style that I
Mhm.
want him to get the payoff of that,
I
at
know.
least visually, you know.
Kind of like
Yeah.
his final smash in Heroes Rising.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool. Honestly, like the best part of the whole movie was that just hearing Yamashita Daiki apparently his throat doing that, but still, like, and the animation was beautiful and everything. Like, gosh. Oh, I'm excited for the anime though. It I really like the direction that we're on so far. I love me some thick outlines. Like that is just chef's kiss. Mm, it reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, but Yu-Gi-Oh has a bit more sharper character designs, while Horikoshi's tend to be more rounded. But either way, it's peak wherever I see it. Thick, black outlines.
Um,
Her
I'm a big
face.
fan. It's because of the enunciation.
The slow pauses.
There's only one way to do it.
Are we talking about the episode?
Oh, well, if we want
Or are we
to.
talking about the
I don't know if you
chapter?
guys have already or not. Let me think. I'm trying to scramble my brain for the chapter, but um, it's weird. Like, I
It
just don't
wasn't a
have that
setup
much to
chapter,
say
but
about
it's
it.
not like the thing that you would talk about with the chapter, like for me, I was kind of like, okay, this person's here, this is who we're going to see. This references this. This is like small little developments and quirks. Like I was talking about how it looks like Invisible Girl's quirk is moving so that she's not always invisible, which means she'll have more control over, which means she should, in theory, be able to wear clothes and then just make the invisibility, like the light refract over the clothing. So she doesn't have to be naked all the time anymore.
Would be
Um,
nice.
so that'd be a nice pivot for her. But like this is one of those chapters that I think I don't say this about a lot of chapters in MHA, partially because the art is so good in this series, and there's always like censorship of some kind as far as like the violence or something like that. But genuinely, I think we're at a stretch of the series that Bones has to really step up for because these are chapters that are built, in my opinion, like with the idea of being animated in mind and with the idea of what, because like this is all like a moment. It's like a really huge moment. And we're building to like this battle, this conflict, this moment where Deku is supposed to like be showcasing like who he is. This is his I am here moment, right? Like this is rising, he's here. Um, and for us to get that, we kind of like as one big animated sequence, this is gonna be nuts. Because this reminds me of the, the Yusei run, Deku's running through, throw the backpack, do this, do that.
Hmm.
It's designed to be like that callback, except this time instead of everybody sitting on the sidelines as he goes to fight the full Diddy monster body hopping monster dude, um, the heroes are actually fighting with him instead of telling him not to go forward, trying to stop him or anything like that. And they know, just like at that first conflict, that he's technically quirkless. He's technically lost his quirk. Same issue as like why he shouldn't have gone in back then, but there's a complete flipping on like, yes, go forth. You are the hero. You are the one who can really do what we need here, and we'll support you every step of the way to accomplish your dream and your goal. Really highlighting like the contrast between like where he was at the start of this series and where he is now, from nobody believing in him to everybody not only believing in him, but wanting to help him and wanting to see it through for him. And really being willing to die to achieve his dreams. But I guess I don't need to emphasize how like that part, but they're willing
Well,
to do it.
it's a really cool inversion of the first chapter and the first moments, for sure. Um, just compared to running out against the sludge villain, it's that same vibe, but instead of everyone like saying no, come back, what are you doing? It's like everyone's pushing him along the way.
Mhm.
I really like seeing Ida there too. That made me happy because a lot of the side characters where I'm like, okay, I wish they had like at least one extra moment there. They got them. Like I loved seeing the railgun moment. Like I was literally asking for that exact thing where Momo makes the cannon and Kaminari charges it, and we got it. So I'm super happy with that. Just I feel like they deserved something more than just being the effectively batteries at UA.
Mhm.
Important clutch role, but like get an action shot in there. Come on. And they got it. So I'm looking forward to
Mhm.
when that gets animated. Um, I mean, in general, I'm looking forward to all the chapters being animated now, especially with this new direction,
Mhm.
or director at Bones.
Oh my
Um,
God, the art direction, the new episode, gorgeous. I like um I'm just looking at clips on Twitter right now of the episode, and they did it justice. Like it's a lot more emotional than the manga. A lot of times Bones does excel at making the episodes, or at least like key moments, a lot more impactful. And it's, the same is happening here.
yeah, absolutely. No, I loved my favorite part might have been like I mean, I was already impressed after episode one, but episode two was just another level. And what's exciting to me is that it wasn't simply the action that looked good; it's just the art from the art, the music, like the scene where Kathy she is just dying, right? It looks
Mhm.
so good. Romy Park knocks it out of the park, like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so strong and emotionally resonant. The scene with her and All Might too. I
Mhm.
love how that was done. I don't know. I think it was in the manga, but it was
It
like,
was just a shot of like, because they have it, when it begins, when you see
yeah,
like them kneeling down.
yeah.
But the smiles are new, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
and I love that so much. Just it was so fun to see.
Hmm.
The touch they did, it felt very loved, and I appreciate that. That was a really good adaptation for that chapter. I will
Hmm.
say I'm still really impressed, of course, with Horikoshi's art. Like the impact is different somehow. Just knowing that he's drawn that. Um, Even though the explosion looked amazing, like the one of the animators from Fire Force came to do that, and that looked wonderful.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, but like my thought is like, it just there's something about the impact of Horikoshi's pen that just adds an extra oomph that I don't know how to describe. Like it's like watching an impact frame or reading an impact frame sometimes with Horikoshi. Um, but that is, of course, not at all to say that the work Bones did was bad. I just mean like I still found myself appreciating Horikoshi's
Hmm.
art while watching it. So it was still a great adaptation.
Um, I will say, I don't know if you've been paying attention to anime only reactions on YouTube.
Not as
Um,
many, but
there
I
are
did see a few.
there's a lot where when Star goes out, they're all saluting when she salutes, and
Right,
it's
because
so cute.
it is. Oh, there needs to be a compilation of all that because
Hmm.
I love that. That is so cute. Like I want to do that too, but I don't know how to do that yet with my model. But anyways, yeah, that was so. nice to see the
Mhm.
warm receptions. The custodians' reactions, of course, were also perfect. I
Yes.
love that as well. And they hit exactly how I feel about it too. I would have loved for her to be in the manga sooner.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we don't live in that timeline, but it would have been nice to see her at least have some interactions with the main
Mhm.
cast before actually going out like this.
I
That said,
I will say because I'm excited once because we're most likely not going to get in this season. But Star's return as a vestige, her embers. I'm
yes.
really excited to see people's reaction because a lot of people love and adore Cassie. So seeing
Yeah.
them like be happy to see her again is
I
going
want
to
to
be
see,
exciting.
yes. That's going to make that moment all the more satisfying. And I do think we're going to see her a third time at the end of things, literally as the dust settles, right? And the vestiges get their proper send off because I don't consider what we got yet their quote unquote proper send off
Mhm.
yet. We're gonna get one, I think we're gonna get one last scene with all of them. They're, embers or whatever.
Mhm.
And I think Star will be there.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to that though. But we're
Um,
ending.
there is like a big part of this chapter that I want to comment on. And
Oh,
it
sure.
isn't just about Uraraka. And the little pose Deku does when he goes to like jump, it's very Uraraka-esque when she had her speech. But it's All for One is Shigaraki. Because when All for One was about to attack Deku, when like Ida is guiding Deku along, like in the opening, um, there's blood splurting out of
And screaming.
his palm. Yeah. And like I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is happening? Because obviously it's Tenko. Um, but I am excited to see what is actually happening in the Vestige world.
Yeah. Yeah. And what struck me too about that immediately afterward was the last bit other than and this isn't to sideline her, but other than Deku's mom, which was that is such a powerful shot. I love that. Like just the
Mhm.
contrast from where it was at the beginning, going from I'm sorry, there's and everything to cheering full throat. I love that. But the thing that actually caught my eye was the black and white used on the last page.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like okay, the screen like if the very deliberate use of color there again with Horikoshi. I say color, but it's black and white.
Hughes.
But still, he's using everything at his disposal, and I'm excited to see where this part goes because the theming is overt and obvious at this point. Um, it's interesting that Deku is in the white this time, while All for One is in the black. But I think the point is that the synthesis or whatever is about to happen. So we'll see there. But that is definitely a point of interest of mine. Just the Horikoshi's use of black and white and the theme building.
Because also um something about this chapter that caught my eye. Um we know that Cassie's departure from the series was a very controversial one. And we know that her death was a way for Horikoshi to eliminate support from other countries because it caused countries to back down in intimidation. Deku, being who he is, being the inspiring hero that he is, managed to managed to have everyone pushing forward and was able to um kind of his influence and his heroism and his heart was acknowledged by the US president. And he was really adamant now on sending their strongest troops, um, which is another like point to Deku as like a hero and as a person.
Speaking of
Um,
the Americans, maybe this is how we finally see Koichi and fucking
I
Captain Celebrity.
I've seen a lot of people talk about that, especially there's a YouTuber I watch, uh,
Mighty Gazelle,
Mighty
right?
Gazelle. Yeah, and he has been a very adamant on having Koichi come back because he loves Koichi.
I'm
And I
glad
would
for
love to see
him.
him
I
as
think
bipolar.
I think yes, now is the time after all the fighting's done to help clean up.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't expect Koichi to actually help join the fight in all for one, but I do agree that if now was a time for, support for him to show up. No, it's now. So
So
hopefully.
the one thing that I would have liked about Koichi showing back up is that All for One did want his quirk. Like All for One was like, that quirk is actually kind of juiced, man. How the fuck did he go through the cracks? Let me get that shit. And then Koichi leaves to the US and it's like, well, never mind, I'm not getting that. So like there's a part of me that did kind of want Koichi to just get to kind of pop out and show him. But let me kind of let's start going full Kendrick here. But Koichi showing up and focusing on cleanup is actually really, really in character because his first iteration or like his hero name, right, was a nice guy. He like went around and cleaned up trash and helped out ladies cross streets. So him traveling all the way from America to do like cleanup on neighborhoods is actually just
Oh, it's so in character.
yeah, it's actually kind of precious. And it was kind of one of the lessons that he taught Captain Celebrity, like working with him was like, you need to do more than, sling your schlong and smile for the cameras. You gotta like actually have a heart, willing to sacrifice, willing to help, and be involved in the community. So I would love if we got Koichi coming back and just helping rebuild. Especially since part of the reason why he had to leave was because of all the expenses and stuff from his battle in
Yes, with 6.
Naruto. Him coming back and just helping clean up county and having that count as a means of paying his dues would be kind of perfect. Mr. Andrew, her chat was good, so caught up. I enjoy everything except one issue. Feels like we were about to be served an excellent burger, but then we get
I think you'll cut the
Uh-oh.
rest.
Sorry, Andrew, you'll have to donate another $5 to finish that.
It's ground turkey, not beef. Like if it's Shiggy and everything else was the same, I would be content. But the turkey, man, it just has a funky taste. So currently, my thought process is that Shiggy is going to like often going to start complaining about how certain works just aren't working anymore. And due to the established precedent with Star and what we saw recently, is it's going to be Shiggy's going to be just decaying the internal world of All for One. And that's how we're going to get a leveling of the playing field and then the erasure of everything. Is that because we see that Shiggy was able to decay Deku's arms in the Vestige world in real life. I don't see a reason why he won't slowly be able to just decay everything that All for One wants to use, especially as he takes on damage.
Yeah, I agree because like when All for One shows back out of the Vested World, and he mentions the spiritual damage has taken its toll on the flesh, decay. His rage and hatred are no more. I call that bullshit. I don't think decay's gone at all. So it would be really cool to see it come back in the shape of like decaying the other quirks. So I actually am behind that for sure.
It also puts like a poetic justice style irony on the whole reason All for One wanted decay and wanted all that was so that he could foster rage, like decay the rules of one for all, having it bite him in the ass and have it decay the rules of his own quirk. And by extension, decay his quirk would be very ideal. Also, the idea of All for One being reduced to a quirkless being is kind of satisfying.
I agree. Because I agree with Andrew. Like, I love the content that we're getting. But in his words, like the turkey is funky because it should be Shigaraki. Um, and I agree, absolutely. So I am interested to see where Hori goes with this. As for what Tyler said, like we know that the vestige space has a separate flow of time. What do we believe is happening in the vested world? I assume it's just Shigaraki attempting to take back over.
Yeah, I just see
but
it as
failing.
Shigaraki like putting himself back together. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if during the fight, we randomly get some images of like his eye floating and then like, pieces moving towards it. Which interestingly enough reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm glad maybe it's because of Seth mentioning that earlier, but it reminds me of like Shadow Realm imagery where it's one of the
Mhm.
shadow games, people like losing pieces of their body and whatnot. But something like that, just to kind of build into it and then have Shiggy, get his last moment. Because I don't think like every character in the League of Villains, I expect to have this really tragic end. And there's a part of me that I think on reread, some stuff I think I'll still find a little kinky, like
Mhm.
AFO himself. But I think the tragedy of these characters and like reading them as characters who have a tragic end coming
Mhm.
all the way through, because if you think about it, like the entire time we've been doing this podcast and like you guys come on and even we had a different rotating of cast, etc. The discussion of which league members live or which league members don't face tragedy, which league members blah blah blah, like what's the end for the league. That discourse is always kind of what's up?
Mhm.
What you got to say, baby? Okay.
I still stand 10 toes. Toga death sentence.
Has always been, well, I mean, like some of them have to escape or something, right? And it's like, well, no. Like now we know every single member of the league is just headed towards a really sad, miserable ending.
Mhm.
And there's so instead when we get to look, we have to reread the series, and we're gonna look at it and we're gonna see moments where maybe they had him out here, maybe they had him out there. Um, because the only people who knew Shigaraki's face for a really long time was Deku and Uraraka.
Mhm.
So it's when going back on it, it's like you're gonna be able to look at certain moments and be like, damn, like arguably they had out like if Shigaraki stops
Mhm.
wearing the hands and maybe dyes his hair and puts it in the ponytail or something, he
Mhm.
goes become a barista and nobody knows. Like
I
it's just weird to think like when you look at it, you're gonna be able to find those moments.
Mhm. I I've always been conflicted on the fates of the League of Villains because for a certain extent, I kind of want a not a happy ending, but a bittersweet ending for these villains where it feels satisfying, but they also got the ending that they deserve. However, throughout this final act, it's becoming more and more apparent that their tragedy will spark rebirth in a way. Um, like the outcome of Dabi, the outcome of Toga, Tenko, Shigaraki, Spinner will be like immortalized and
Yeah.
used as kind of a lesson for the future to come. Because we look at we look at history, right? Um, a lot of times history repeats itself. We're all in a cycle. We see it happening right now, for example. I kind of want that to be a focus when we reach the end, where the story of Shigaraki is spread throughout the entire world, not just Japan,
Yeah.
because this can't happen again. We can't have another Ujiko and all for one stumbling across him, like manipulating the the scenes. That just can't happen again.
Because each of the league members kind of staunchly point out how society is flawed and what they need to be doing to address it instead of how many chapters post-war. Um, so I've seen a calculation that said this should be the end of volume 41. So my personal belief is that we have to get at least a full volume's worth of chapters. So I see maybe 3 to 4 chapters, possibly depending on how this final battle is being executed here. Because it could be like 6, but I think we get at least 4 or 5 chapters post.
Mhm.
I think because some series the cleanup isn't that important, but with MHA, I think the cleanup, the sitting around in the hospital having some conversations, I
Mhm.
think that actually matters here. I think that's an
Yeah.
important conversation to have. Um, and maybe Horikoshi doesn't. Maybe Horikoshi is just doing that thing that I sometimes feel like Oda does, where They make a lot of really good social points without actually caring about them.
Mhm.
But if we're assuming that all the punchy social commentary that you can like extract from the story is intentional, then I think we got to get at least like 6 chapters. I kind of say like 6 chapters, depending on who's being focused. I mean, post PLF was 10 chapters. So, I mean, we get that. That'd
Yeah,
be
maybe.
nice. That'd be real
Um,
nice, actually. Definitely would roll stuff
I
out.
do agree because like a lot of series typically end on one big final chapter that like is like 50 to 60 pages long. And like Hori could do that. But I feel like from what we can tell, it definitely will be a volume worse, which is what I'm shooting for.
No. I think 10 chapters.
Mhm. I mean, I'll take it. Like
Yeah,
that's
no.
fine by me.
Yeah, I'd
look,
take 10 chapters at least.
I
Gosh,
want
because that's like what I would say 3 or 4 to end this specific conflict, maybe probably less.
Mhm.
It depends what happens in the vestige space, but yeah, I don't think Deku is gonna like Deku can't punch all for one time for 4 chapters. So
yeah.
this is gonna end sooner rather than later. But afterward, I would like at least a volume's worth of chapters
Mhm.
for the ending, even though we won't get it. Even though
It's
we won't
worth
get a
noting
volume's worth of non-fighting. But
the punch did cause like Shigaraki to spurt blood. So like at this point he's going for the kill shots. So it's not like like you said, if he's throwing blows like we see him throwing at the end of the chapter, it's hard to believe that it'll take 5 chapters, 6 chapters for this battle to end,
Yeah.
not accounting for any vestige world shenanigans. Hi, grabbing daddy's beard. Say beard. Beard. Oh, we're gonna say beard. Okay. Well, yeah. Trying to think, do we have anything else to discuss with the chapter or any anime?
Let me
And I'm
see.
just trying to keep it positive. I don't like this chapter.
That's fair. We all read.
What don't you like about the
Oh.
chapter, Coyote? I'm curious.
It just comes down from like paneling. Like I feel like it's too cluttered, and like there's
Okay.
just so much going on that
Mm.
it's not that it's hard to comprehend. It's just like too much to look at for me.
A
And
little
then for the
overstimulated.
final page, I kind of don't like how the smash looks because it doesn't feel like impactful to me, or like from like a perspective viewpoint. I think it's just I feel like we should get Deku more bigger
Mm.
and Shigaraki being more reactionary from it.
So
I don't know.
you feel like Deku's just not emphasized enough in his attack.
Yeah, and that attack it's like too small and like it
He's too
feels like
covered.
one of those random side panels. Like
Mhm.
that would be in a flurry type, like the
Okay.
second attack, it feels like. Instead of like the big first one.
I feel like we'll get a different perspective of the Smash in a following up chapter,
Mhm.
mostly because I think Horikoshi wanted to do something with the black and white theming that he's doing. So I think because like if you look at it, like it really is like a scribbled black mass right there with Deku
Mhm.
as like the light shining cutting through it. So it's like I'm thinking we do get a less not less artistic, but like less abstract
I
Smash
I
from a
also
different
think
perspective.
it will be changed because like when I'm looking at like the black lightning, it looks like it's unfinished. So I do expect to see like a better version in the new volume.
Well, to be fair, that's all for one's like random machination bullshit.
Oh, for
thing.
sure. But
So,
like
like-
above Deku's head to the right, it looks like it was kind of unfinished. Like absolutely, it
Oh,
could be
I see
just
what you
that.
mean.
I could be wrong, but I also do believe like this isn't the final, like the finished product.
Because like
Um,
for me, it's like I see like Izuku's mom, and then for me that feels like it should be more
mm,
not impactful, but like in your face.
I get it. I get it. I also think Deku's body should at least be shown a bit more.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I mean. It's like
yeah.
there's not enough Deku showing for me.
That's fair. Let me see.
Oh, another complaint people had, I don't know if y'all talked about it, is people were upset the pilots survived and that All Might suddenly had a ejector seat for them. That was a big debate on fucking Twitter.
So I feel like
I'm not sure anyone
okay,
really cares,
so
mostly
yeah, so
because they're just the pilots.
here's my thing with that is that the pilots died. Man, whatever, they don't matter. Pilots live. Man, they lived. Like, come on, bro. Like, you don't actually care.
Like I
There's
really don't believe people actually care about the survival of the American military. I genuinely do not.
like
Um,
you want something to cry about. Like that's all that is. Like you
Can
are
I
a
can I
very
be
negative
honest?
person.
Can I be honest?
Go
You can
for it,
call
Tom.
Cap for this, right? But this new episode actually made me like the pirates a lot more.
I mean, I like the pilots. I like these characters.
yeah, their
Like,
characterization is fine. Like they don't
Mhm.
deserve death or anything.
I'm just
like they,
enjoying seeing them again.
But
Yeah.
it's like not their Hero Academia,
like
All of our Hero Academia.
and
Right.
also, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, if they took the time to plan, like they said, "Oh, I thought our ejector seats were broken." What makes you think, in the time that they landed in the Japan, worked with UA, that, like, even if they thought their ejector seats were broken, because they just didn't bother checking because they were ready to die. What makes you think that, like, Mei Hatsume, Power Loader, All Might, all these people who are working with them would be okay with just being like, "Yep, guess we're just gonna still go fight Shigaraki with broken ejector seats. Yeah, that's fine.
That's
That
so
makes sense."
cruel.
Like that makes me so out of character for like
They
the
were
people.
committed to dying for the cause, and it's like,
Mhm.
guys, no, it's okay. We have buttons. We have escape buttons. You
About.
don't need to do this.
Like you
Thank you
can
though.
conceptualize how silly it would be to let them not have functioning ejector seats to like really realize like no, that's a nothing burger complaint.
I thought
Like
the
you said,
implication was that it was like a forced eject, like they didn't actually,
yeah.
like none of them actually hit their own buttons kind of
Mhm.
thing. But uh either way, like I'm not happy or sad to see them die either way, but I do think it is at least consistent
Mhm.
with the tone.
I love the
Um,
All Might when All Might's calling back to Bakugo's like joint
yeah.
training
I've
speech where
been
it's like
wondering. Yeah, no, I've been
Mhm.
low key wondering about that this entire time. Like ever since Bakugo quote unquote died, I'm like, wait, the absolute victory thing is like stuck in my brain for some reason here.
Well,
It's
the thing
like,
is that
and lo and behold, there it is. So
based on Gugavilla, I don't think they can get an absolute victory.
no confirmed
But,
death.
but,
No confirmed death at Gunga. Everyone's fine.
We
The
ignore it
birds are
over there.
fine. Yeah,
but
we're good.
and based on what happened at Camino, I don't think they can get an
We're
absolute victory. But like,
good.
Listen, it's an absolute victory with asterisks.
Hey
Absolutely
man, if the
no
sidekicks
death.
die, it's fine.
Who
They're not real
are they
heroes,
anyway?
man.
Mm,
just saying,
but
we
yeah,
saw
I'm
Onigumo
also
get torched. So
but yeah, I'm also curious to see. We do need chapters
Mm,
dedicated to the closure or lack thereof of
yeah.
the villains for sure. So like when you say like 10 chapters, yeah, that does at least sound reasonable. Like if every villain sort of gets one or at least a combination of them, then yeah, that would be good.
Mhm.
That would be good. I just don't want to believe in only 10 chapters, right? Like give me 20 or something.
Well, to me, like 20 is like too much.
It
Like
is.
there's like, what do you
I
even
want it.
put in that amount of time?
It absolutely is, but I'm just like I don't want to think about the ending. I can avoid thinking about the ending if there's
Um,
20 more chapters. If there's like
so
only 10, I'm like, well, shoot, we started
well,
countdown now.
when there's like 20 chapters, right? You would have like a good batch of it be dedicated to what happened after the war, right? So it's like the cleanup, it's the heroes putting in measurements for a better society, It's everything that we want, right? We want
Right.
the airy singing for the class. We
Right.
want Deku Uraraka to have their moment, right? We want All Might to see what happens with All Might, like to get that full recovery and to live his best life, right? But then you'd have the epilogue, right? And it's kind of the reenactment of Endeavor's vision. So you kind of get to see, because like it's like the final final chapter of Vigilantes, where we got to see Skycrawler. But it was kind of it wasn't like fleshed out, obviously, because Vigilantes want to end on that like what was it, 3 chapters? Um, so that was well and good with that. But I see My Hero, if we do get 20 chapters, giving us a good glimpse of like Deku's future as the greatest hero. Because whether or not he gets back one for all, gets a quirk, or he doesn't get a quirk and he ends up quirkless, it is we do need to see. It's not we do need to see. I need to see how the world like what's next for Deku. Like
Burger
what does he do?
flipping.
Burger flipping, the McDonald's arc.
Look, based on Deku's feats, we're gonna power scale this, and we're gonna say that based on the calculations of destructive property and the influence that he has on other people, he should at least be able to get a book deal and a press tour, and if I'm honest,
And an
a
armor suit.
like former military type pension. So
Mhm.
if anything, he should just be chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, you dancing with mommy? You dancing with
Um,
mommy?
I also
Yeah.
like if Deku wants to be a quirkless hero, he can. Like quirkless, he's powerful. By the way, if Deku was in our real world, he'd be the strongest human on Earth. Um,
Oh,
but
mommy's gonna be
regardless,
back.
I am like anticipating a kind of some time to see Deku in the future. Not just for my sake, but I feel like it'd be beneficial to his story. Because we want to see Deku at least getting his happy ending. I know Coyote doesn't, but he's the outlier.
Wow, stop
Uh,
putting words in my mouth, brother.
no, you do burger flipping agenda.
That's not a bad ending. That's a nice ending. He could have been armless for all I cared.
Mhm.
But no, he's flipping burgers. I didn't even add cucked by Kachan ending.
Stop.
You know,
Deku gets
Bakugo
a
fans would
job
love that shit.
at the All Might uh pizzeria.
Coyote, you are a fascinating specimen of a human because I didn't choose a bad ending for him because obviously he has arms if he's flipping burgers at Burger King is a
Mhm.
crazy defense. Like,
Um,
It was the only rational one.
wait, what are you talking about? I can't believe you done this. The president is Hisashi. That's
No,
why
that
he was
is
so
the best
adamant.
crack theory I've seen in a long while.
He was like, wait, that's my son out
That's
there.
the
Get every
funniest
hero to
thing. I'm
Japan.
sorry. That is advanced fraudening. No, that was great. I love it. Like, obviously not real, just like the idea is so funny.
man, the idea that if Hisashi were the president, I'd be like, bro, what are you doing?
Your wife and child are in an apartment in Japan. What is this?
You
What?
have like quite literally, you're one of the most well out, like well off people in the world.
Like, that's one of those, bro, you're a failure as a father. Like,
Hmm.
there's no other takeaway in that situation. You failed as a father. What are you doing?
Hmm.
He did something right. His kid's fighting all for one. He didn't even have to be there. He just gave him some basic discipline.
His kid excelled in spite of his lack of father, not because of
Hmm.
it.
No,
He didn't
no,
even
he
have
has
to
a
be there
father.
to be a good father. He
He
knew
has a
his ways.
father. All Might's
It's All
right
Might.
there.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
He's the dad that
The
stepped up.
greatest hero line still
It moved
actually
me.
moves me. Oh my gosh. Just I just love how much of an invert this is from chapter one. And it's so not like what's the word? It just it flows just
Mhm.
right. Like it not like at all forced. It's just this is like yes, naturally this was going to happen and everything. And it's just I reread chapter 1 a little bit because I do that from time to time. And I noticed that when Deku's mom hugs him, there's that chair in between them. It's a really weird hug. Like she has to hug around the chair to get to Deku. And it's like, oh, that's a very obvious like barrier between mother and son. Like the author's like not subtle there, but like I didn't think about that until now. Just the gap between what Deku wanted from her and what she, you know, couldn't give him. And then here we go, and then here we are. It's just the at the end, the last page with her screaming out to him to do his best. I was expecting her to be all torn up and everything. I really honestly did not expect her to be like full throated like that. I really didn't.
She's like Chi-Chi with Gohan.
This is actually one of the first times we see her in this specific arc. Like we do get shots of her here and there, but like there's nothing like what I was expecting, like her being a distressed mess, like in the back in the hero arc thing. So she gets like this bit of character development throughout the course of the arc or the series, and I think that's great.
Also a nice callback in this chapter when Deku is rushing in after being pushed along by Ida.
Yes. Yes.
The pose Deku's in is the exact same as when All Might was looking at him, like against all the robots back in I
Yep.
think it was High Blue Sky.
Yep.
I'll never get that chapter's name right, but
Nope.
such like a really pretty like two panels. I love seeing it again, where it's like those are two proud like dad and son moments. And it's like this chapter, like
The anime
the
adaptation is going to
tears
destroy
I
me.
have shed could fill up the Grand Canyon.
Like Miyake's performance for this is going to kill me among many other performances. I'm glad the Uraraka moment was there too, with Ida pushing Deku along. I'm so glad for all the callbacks here. It was so good, and yet I'm so sad.
I'm gonna miss this series so much. And I'm glad it is going out with a hearty bang. I do think that like um something I kind of wanted in this chapter. It's not like a big deal, right? Because what we got was great because a lot of these heroes acted on their own. They had their own intentions. They acted like heroes. But I would have loved to see Deku coordinate them all, and push them further because he is a master of heroism. Like he knows every single like hero, not every single, but he knows a grand majority of them because he studied them. He grew alongside them. So seeing him kind of like you do this, you do that. On page 16 of my notebook, your quirk is great for this, but so do that. I would have loved to see that, but it's not a big deal. Um, because what we got is still, in my eyes, really, really powerful. Um, and I'm just really happy with this chapter. I'd honestly say it's one of my favorites in the series, if not top five. But like I feel like I will have to go back and reread this arc, and even the entire series because I love doing it. I always do that on my spare time. But just to put it together like a list for like once the manga ends.
Also, this is very off topic, but I saw. I think it was Tanisha had said that she heard Star call Apple and Baka, and it made her fall off the chair.
Oh
So I
my
saw,
But
so I saw that Baka
no!
was trending, and I clicked on it because I was like,
oh, but yeah, oh, I just realized
but
it.
but Baka is trending
Baka.
because
I
Baka got a
realized
weird case. Why
Oh,
is he
I see you
around?
around.
say it
Certified lover
again.
boy, certified.
Oh,
But. Honestly,
like
yeah.
she can like oh Romy Park.
She was
And when
great in
she
this entire episode.
when she shouted in episode 1, she's like when she shouts boy at Shigaraki, I'm like, oh,
I also love how she says like the lasers. Um Laser. Like it's
oh
such a
right.
cool like this entire fight is just really great. And seeing it's a great adaptation. And now looking at the manga currently, like two, in my eyes, fantastic fights are happening alongside each other.
It
And
is.
MHA
No, this
fans
is
are
like my
eating.
favorite MHA weekend in a long time. I mean, the anime's back, but still.
Oh my god, hey, Imponzu. Oh, he's connected audio.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
Oh,
Wait, and you need to hear us say, "Oh, Viho."
Oh,
Miho! Say, Miho! Hey, 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 hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
hey,
Imponzu.
Miss Wayne, how you been
What's up,
feeling about the chapters?
people? It's been a long time.
It really
Damn.
has been. How you
Yeah,
been?
man. Not so good, but better. I read an amazing chapter.
We roboted, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I won't read it for a few times before because I knew that they were built up to something good. Because I wasn't expecting the Midoriya rising title. I
Mm-hmm.
was not expecting this. So yeah, I was reading it with you say run and added with the version with season 2 of it.
Damn, a bee is all up
It's a
in his mouth.
fly. And Ponzi, I don't know if you can hear us, but your audio is glitching.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're.
can't you hear me?
It sounds like you're about to perform poker face.
Oh, 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 damn. Sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, okay, wait. I'm gonna see if my headphones set I can put it out.
Mm-hmm. While he's attempting that, he brought up something that I was like, didn't expect. So when the leaks were coming out, um, the main leaker said that the title will come at the end. So I was like very excited to see. And when we got to
Hello.
All Might saying, "Oh, you have always been my," and it was like dot dot dot, I thought the chapter was gonna be the greatest hero. But I got Izuku Midoriya Rising. It was like one of the best, like,
Hello.
hey, Mponzu,
Hey, okay, it's fine. It's better.
you sound much better.
Yes, you're coming through now.
If it's still glitching,
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Oh,
So
wait.
yeah.
how do you
Oh
do
man,
this?
great. I'm still on the name. Oh, hey, little one. Uh,
Yo,
uh, so yeah. What we're talking. Sorry.
No, we were trying to
we were
get
waiting.
your takes
Hmm.
on
The
The
chapter.
what you've been
chapter.
reading lately. Yeah.
So it's literally when I was reading My Hero Academia in the last month, it felt like it was not read weekly. It felt like I needed to read it like an, a certain amount of chapters at once. So I felt like getting put it on the rest was busy. But today I read 5, 6, get a one, and man, this this last part, this chapter I read it with just with Tehran. It felt so good, so good. Uh, I had tears in my eyes. Man, it's the moment I was waiting for Deku as a character, and it's, you feel that the end of the story, you know, but it is what this chapter is the essence of the inspiration of the Horikoshi was killing as a writer, the inspiring your kin, moving forward, bro. I will keep running. My goal. Oh, really? Still breaking up? Oh,
Like I can hear what you're saying. It's just like a lot of times they'll break up, but we can
oh.
hear what you're trying to say and absolutely agree.
So I will try to later. So yeah. Um, Harikoshi isn't the perfect writer, but still, when it's about giving your emotion, he's putting tears into your eyes, touching your according to soul, one of the best. He can do it in multiple art. Just put you back and the way that he can inspire you to become a better person by writing. And yeah, that's sad. Oh, My Hero Academia will always uh is right now, even when I'm working
Okay, is he
hard.
coming through for you, Thomas?
Yeah, he got kind of worse at the end.
Okay, I haven't been able to hear most of what he's saying. I was trusting that if some of you guys were getting to hear him at least.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I've been
you know,
making it out.
okay, I'll quit. Wait,
They just
uh,
don't want you to tell the truth. Oh, he got they'll come back. I do want to say that like Mponzi brought up like really good points, and I do want to focus on one of them. Um, like it is my display name currently, the Do Your Best, which originated with obviously who made it popular, Uraka. Not only that, but it encompasses like it like encapsulates who Deku is as a person and what this manga is trying to push as a message. It's doing your best. And it's like it's such a powerful like message. It's short, it's simple, but it's effective. Um, and seeing everyone do their best in this chapter is great. It's not just Deku. It's like Mina said, like Kirishima was like, give it your all. And Mina was like, oh, and we will do that too. This chapter is just beautiful. Um, but yeah, let me see. Um, Also MK the baby said, "What if no post-war chapters, but post-war movie? It'll be a great segue into the next series, if possible.
Next
Like if he does
series.
a next series, like that'd be great. If that is the case, let's just say, uh, she
You
is
down for
spitting.
a movie?
I would be down for a movie that segues, kind of like the last, right? Naruto the last, which I guess is like the best example I can give. Um, because that was kind of a
I
segue into
actually like
Boruto,
that
right?
movie a lot.
I enjoy
I
it.
like that movie a lot.
It's not my
I keep trying to convince my
favorite.
wife to watch it with me
It
because
has
I
this
think she'd like a movie that romantic.
it has its issues, and I feel like a lot of times for the past few years I've been focusing on those issues, which was kind of like giving it a disservice. Like it does a lot of great things. Um, Not only that, but kind of like I said with Deku, like seeing him host a series, seeing what he's doing, seeing like his supporting cast. Like it's that would be a great opportunity for My Hero if we got like a post-war movie. Like maybe flesh out Izuocha, give us
Well,
more
stop with your head
Todoroki
canon shit,
family.
brother. It's Baku Deku over here.
Oh yeah, for
They're gonna
sure.
flesh that one out.
But see what happened with the Todoroki family after Dabi, seeing this time.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe seeing Kirishima emulating more of Crimson
Right.
Riot. Yeah, like that'd be pretty cool. I like that idea, MK. That's dope.
Fuck that.
Yeah, he might
Bakugo's the
be
main
Asian.
character. Deku's Sparkle flipping burgers, and we get a whole Bakugo-centered movie. No Shoto, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Just my boy out here blasting niggas.
Yeah. That's what I
Hey,
like to
yo, hold
see.
up. Is that account posting again?
Hmm?
there's this account that posted this really Batman villain-esque video of Drake's items.
Oh,
Oh, the
Oh,
Riddler.
yeah, that fucking Riddler account. Hey, smoke that fire, your boy in trouble, man.
wait,
Your
is he a
boy in
Drake
trouble.
fan?
Yeah, he had OV Ho.
Oh, my condolences.
Wow.
Wah,
Don't
wah,
take it
wah.
from him.
Tom, stop acting like you're not a Drake fan. I
I don't
remember you
like Drake
singing
at
that
all.
shit to me in VC.
Okay, that is not true. But I'm not a big Drake fan.
You were singing "Call Me on My Cell Phone," or are you not?
No.
You don't seem confident with that answer.
No.
The least spirited defense I've ever heard.
No. Squid came into my DMs. He was asking about like talking to me about Drake. And I was like, I haven't been the biggest follower of the beef until like that dropped. Um I'm just not a big Drake fan. I'm kind of like I'm behind the not the Drake slander, that too, but kind of like I'm loving how the entire world is coming together to clown on Drake. Like the BBL Drizzy um trend. There's like a I think his name is Kamui. He's a Japanese like rapper.
Yeah, the
Um
Japanese rapper that was cooking him.
yeah, compared him and what was it, Dot to like Attack on Titan.
Shit. I don't know, man. All I know is the Drake memes were generational. Them recreating JJK panels for that shit, fucking peak.
Mhm. Y'all breaking y'all arms with this roaching.
I did finally get to finishing hidden inventory for JJK. I put
Oh,
off
nice.
yeah, I let it sit. I put off getting ready to the rest of the season, but I think it's about
Hmm.
time to get back into that. I've just been working with content creation stuff and seeing what I can do there, but for now I think I know where I want to go with that. So now I think I
Let's
can start
go.
going back and watching anime more properly.
Let's
Oh, we
go,
love that.
man. Content creating. Look at you.
Oh no.
I'm
My
proud of
boy
you.
got a BBL too. I can't believe it.
You
I
talking
mean,
about
content
Thomas?
creation is I mean, calling it content creation sometimes feels generous what I'm planning because a lot of it is just sort of regurgitating stuff. I know that people talk for a living, so it's
Hmm.
not like I don't know. It's hard to feel up on myself about it. Like I don't feel like I'm adding that much to the
No,
what's already out there, but
that's still content. It's still
It's not
your
about
yeah.
look, it's about doing and getting your own stuff out.
Hmm.
Because like, okay, so the whole reason I made an MHA channel anyway was because it was like before MBA where I was thinking about it. Because I used to work with, and I don't know if yeah, he's been on my channel sometimes with Silvers,
Hmm.
smaller One Piece YouTuber, and I would just do like One Piece like live reaction podcast with him like every Friday. He was doing it based off of leaks or whatever.
Hmm.
And like this is even before the Shonen Jump app was $2 and all that
yeah.
other stuff. But like so but it started on like 2007, 2018 era. I was just like chilling on Discord, a lot of One Piece Discords, like BDA. It was actually the Froggy Discord, which I don't know if you guys know who Froggy is. He was another smaller One Piece
Hmm.
YouTuber at a while back. But we were doing some stuff and I got kind of tired of like the only real MHA content creator back then that I really thought was like put people on game was like Medi, not the bad guy. And he wasn't even like an MHA exclusive like channel. He was all over. So like you would get like one or two Medi, not the bad guy videos, and then that was it. So I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? I'm gonna just start making my own shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna start saying my own stuff. I'm gonna get my thoughts out there.
Hmm.
And like for a
I'm glad
while,
you did.
we were cooking for a while, but life happened and then my channel slowed down. But
Hmm.
just doing your own stuff, get your ideas out there. It's worth it. Having them on the internet, you never know when somebody's gonna like come back and be like, "Man, this is a good idea." Like
Hmm.
my most proud moment as a content creator was probably uh when I did that Unholy Trinity video and it actually
Hmm.
had a good chunk of the MHA fandom kind of like freaking out over
Yeah.
the vestige for one and stuff, and that was just like really
Mhm.
fun. Uh,
Because a lot of
Awesome.
times,
Can you hear me
especially when
better?
you're just yeah, we can hear you slightly. Speak again.
Hello.
Hello.
there.
I'll just say this. But a lot of times, um, like just speaking on a series, just speaking on a chapter, a lot of times when people tune in, you may say something that they may not think of, right? And that is great content. Like no matter what, as long as you're not stealing ideas, as long as you're not pushing people's like opinions, but your own, what you feel, that's content. That's something that will resonate with people. So what you want to do, that's great. That is a great idea, and you should pursue that. Because who knows, like maybe down the line, that could get you new opportunities. A chance to shine, like All Might says. Um,
Thank you for the
so
encouragement,
yeah,
really.
absolutely.
No, yeah. I've been discouraged lately just because I've been running into limitations with my computer. Like
Mhm.
anytime I try to both record in VTube, like the my PC starts chugging. Like this is just sort of
Ooh.
not it. Like I can't record reactions, I can't play games and do it, and it's like, oh,
Mhm.
that's disheartening.
A
But
lot
that
of the
said,
big content creators have that story, like people trying to render videos and their
and then you're
laptop is
right.
burning.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one to have this issue, and time being what it is, it won't be like this forever. So
Mhm.
I'll just, have to either save up or bite a bullet for a more powerful hardware.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I do have ideas. I mean, even if I'm just a talking head, and because the anime is also airing at the same time as the manga, I think I can do something like where I'm just putting out my thoughts on both anime
Mhm.
and manga
Yeah.
chapters, even if it's just me talking as a talking head.
Mhm.
I think I might still do that at least. So,
I had
Yeah.
issues like that. So I found like because when I was in university, obviously I did a media course and a lot of our like modules, which is like what makes up a year, what makes up a semester,
yeah.
was recording yourself talking about film and talking about your own ideas. And my
Mm-hmm.
laptop isn't the most powerful. So what I did is I made my own Discord server, just myself, and a bot called Brian no, not Brian, Craig. And you add him to the call and he records your voice in a Discord call. And I just added like I made sure to fix my mic. It's a lot better than now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was happy with the finished product, and that was how I circumvented um a lot of like hardware difficulties. So there are ways to get your voice out there. And
Okay.
it's
That's
definitely
it.
worth the patience.
Thanks for the
Interesting.
for the input, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, using using an external recording device. Yeah, because OBS, for example, I mean everyone uses OBS more or less,
Mhm.
so of course I am too. But like
Mhm.
as soon as I hit that record button, everything goes in flames. It's like, oh no.
It's like the SpongeBob in his head when everything was going like haywire.
Yeah, it is funny if tragic, but it's a temporary issue.
Mhm.
I'll put some thought to that, but
Mhm.
now that I know that what my limitations are, I can start, pushing them.
Yes.
So that's
Good.
how limitations work.
Also, MK recommended an app called Anchor. Um,
Anger.
let me check here. Anchor. Yeah, it's a podcast app, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's on the App Store. So maybe you can take a look at that.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciated. As for my comments though on Jujutsu Kaisen, actually I forget if I gave them before. I don't remember. But I really did like the hidden inventory arc. That was such a pleasant surprise.
It was a
Compared
good arc.
to
It was a good arc.
yeah, no, it was such a good one. Just go.
It's
I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I do, just because I remember how season one was, and it's like season one has cool moments, but I remember not really being interested in like how the characters are written. Gojo specifically, like to me, Gojo is just a pretty boy you're supposed to like just because he's Gojo, kind of thing. That's how he came off, and not that I, particularly disliked him, but it's like I wasn't attached to him. But seeing hidden inventory, the conflict between him and Kenjaku was interesting and compelling to a point. Um, I do have some critiques of it, but like in general, I appreciated how the story was told. So I'm pretty excited to see. Well, actually, I'm trying to temper my expectations because I'm thoroughly spoiled on Jujutsu Kaisen.
I can understand it.
But like in terms of like an experience, that was pretty great. And so it's weird. It's not like I'm being spoiled. It's hard to know what to look forward to from here, but all the same, I was impressed. And at the very least, I'm looking forward to the Sakuga Fest once I get into Shibuya. I'm still on like the first episode of that arc, but I'm gonna work through it. It'll be fun.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
ooh, it's gonna be special. Shibuya is a special arc. I can tell you that for sure.
Special.
Oh,
You're very
I'm happy
special.
I'm happy that I didn't cut you to because I didn't know that you were anime only. Because the last chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen they are also they were heavy to read. I will say.
I did notice that. Like I skimmed through some of it just to see, technically what's up without, getting too invested. In general, I don't like all of the narration. Like that's just I think that's a bit too much. But as far as the Jujutsu Kaisen experience goes, I think the anime is probably just the best way to experience it. So I'm not going to get too attached to things that happen in the manga right now because I think the anime will have a lot of opportunity to make things to
Easier.
present things in the best possible way.
I
So
hope so. I hope so.
yeah,
It has the same issues. You can see how much of a fan that he is of I forgot his name of Togashi. You can see how much that the way that he has to explain stuff. He's I forgot the name. Gege is a fan of Togashi, but still. So I
indeed.
can wait. So I can wait to see the how the this really weird. So it's really a part of our life might end, a new part of my life because might end again. So MHA and GJK is gonna stop too. So also,
Yeah, yeah.
oh man, it's weird. And One Piece too. If One Piece stopped around the end, MHA might end sooner than One Piece for sure, but still. One Piece. I don't know. MHA is gonna end sooner than One Piece, but this last chapter of One Piece are also heavy because it feels like teasing most of the time. These last chapters, I really felt that Oda just want to tease you for like for 3-4 weeks and 1 month that he just want to tease you. So it becomes frustrating, literally. Just tell the story, man. Allez,
Just
you
give
can
me the
tease us.
information, man. It's right there.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with stuff.
I trust you on that, but come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
I do want to say this, by the way. So I saw someone mention this in the chat about like MHA's length, right? The anime, and how to them, or at least I don't know if this is true. I have to fact check it. But MHA is Bones' longest running anime, aside from FMAB. And FMA has been on my mind recently, because of this new chapter. It's very reminiscent of the final fight.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of Edward Elric. Like my first anime was the original FMA.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just have such a big attachment to the series. So seeing kind of like everyone cheer on Deku and seeing like the panels, it just reminds me so much of the Edward fight. Um, that like to me, it's super super cool. It would have still be super cool without that like um comparison. Because I hold the feeling or the opinion that constantly comparing a series to another series will hinder your enjoyment, or at least like
Yes.
shoot it in the knee. Um, in Minecraft, by the way, YouTube, just in case. Um, but here it's making me it's making me more excited. Because y'all know me, like Deck is my favorite character. I love the series so much. So I'm just so like excited to see what comes next. And I had a similar feeling, well, not similar, but like kind of a what's gonna happen next. And I like when I read Hidden Inventory for the first time, because seeing the Toji fight with Gojo like had me on like edge. Um, so I think like just like the entire world in My Hero, I think we're all on edge to see what Deku does next in this fight.
For me,
Um
I'm not on edge for that. For me, literally, I had more the feeling back, like if like, a few months ago, when I was reading that what's gonna happen next, but not of exciting because I wanted to. The story was feeling slow for me, but now this chapter for me was like a result of a build-up that made me at peace that My Hero Academia was still My Hero Academia. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
The,
You're very quiet right now. If you can, I don't know if you're
okay.
like talking like through your mic. You sound louder now.
I sound louder now?
Yeah, you sound much louder.
Okay,
Not
fine.
entirely the same audio, but like I feel like we can all hear you
Uh,
better.
the thing about it's like I don't know because I just used the mic that I bought like a few years ago,
Hmm.
in place of the my laptop mic. So I don't know if you all can hear me correctly right now. If you can hear so without the hacking. So
I can hear you. There's a bit of like what's the word? Like
glitch.
noise coming off it, but like aside from
Yeah,
that, you
it's
sound
because
audible.
I am in my room, so there is a I'm not like in a space like a confined space. So
Yeah.
I can imagine. So yeah, and I'm moving around too. It's been so long time that I've been on a stream and just stopped. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it is. Where do I start? Yeah, so My Hero Academia is a story that I have that I discovered it even as I remember back in the day. I was when when Bleach and Naruto stopped, it felt like a part of me that was a part of my life that stopped too. You know what I mean? As a manga, and I was looking for a new manga to read, and that's how I discovered My Hero Academia by just clicking on the name on the site. It was back in the day I was reading in French, even,
Mhm.
and I clicked on. I saw My Hero Academia. I said, okay, the name looks cool, and that's how I started to read. That was from the first chapter. That was a big crush. Black. I also discovered Black Clover too in the same period, or the same day, even same week that I started to read also Black Clover. So yeah, it was a beauty. So from see how many years since it started? Like since 2015 or something like this, if I'm right. It's been
My Hero is
about
2014.
14, yeah, 10 years. And 10 years long story. So it followed me through my yeah, my starting of my adulthood. At the starting of my adulthood. So My Hero Academia, I felt it's like when I started to feel disengaged with the story, I really felt bad about it
Hmm.
as a reader myself, and because yeah, I love the story. Until today, these characters are embodiments of so many things to my eyes. So today, it felt like Mario didn't back the give back the feeling that I have to tell stories to. Like I said, I was not in a good. I was not in a good mental state, for already multiple weeks right now. And My Hero Academia, just this last chapter, gave me kind of back hope and stuff. So yeah, I will say thank you, Horikoshi, again.
Hmm.
Thank you, Horikoshi, and you guys too, because I'm happy that Aniki give a place for someone like me back in the day to have a place to talk about stuff, talk about My Hero Academia, to share my thoughts too. So yeah, uh, it's amazing. It's amazing to be here and talking about this.
Mhm.
But yeah, where is it? Where is Aniki even? Where is he?
Oh, I'm here. I was doing some stuff
Oh,
with my daughter earlier, but I'm
okay,
back. Don't worry.
Mhm.
okay, okay. Oh man. So yeah, literally, it's been like I think 3, 4 years that I've been on the channel though. Aniki.
Hold on, what'd you say? You're a little quiet.
I mean, it's been 4 years that I've been on the channel.
Yes. We've been
Damn,
at this for a while.
damn, man. Time goes so
Well,
fast, so fast.
technically, hold on.
I was since the COVID, so I know COVID's been since 2020.
Because 2020. So technically this is like year 5 because
Yeah.
one, it's season 5, but I know that 2020 we had COVID,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I think you had maybe heard of the channel, but then when we did AnyTube Con
Yes. Yes.
specifically, it was AnyTube Con,
Oh,
which I know was
that
2020
was
because that was
amazing.
Knox, back when Project
Nuts.
Manga was still around. We did
Yes.
the AnyTube Con, and you were on the My Hero Academia panel with me.
Yes.
Uh, and that's how we got you over here as
Mm-hmm.
a regular. You know, you've been doing all your university stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like
Yes.
uh, same reason why a lot of people who you were on, back in like seasons 1, 2, 3 aren't here as much, with the exception of like 2 people, but who just one of who is just not welcome here, and the other one just chose not to be here. Um,
Memories, man.
but
Memories.
the only reason why that even like popped up is because there was like an old Discord conversation that people made it a point to leave like a week or two ago, and I was like, this Discord conversation hasn't been used in like 4 years. Why is anybody even touching it? But uh, definitely, we've had different people come and go. I can appreciate everybody that's been a part of the journey. Some people have to decide opt to not come on because we're a bad influence on their vocabulary, stuff like that. Uh, but it's all fun. It's been a ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
serious? Oh man, those memories.
That's one of those moments that I found out somebody actively clipped. And I'm
Really?
like, man, of all the stuff we've talked about, that's one of the few moments it's actually been clipped. That's crazy.
Oh man, we had some great moments, man. We had some great moments, man. The heated conversation. I remember that. Uh oh man, oh man, the
I'll
conversation,
never
the
forget.
conversation.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget the cosplay moments. If you know, you know.
Yo, man.
Oh man.
The cosplay moments are even uh the the moment with Roger, and the fact that we were talking and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Thank you
Yeah,
again.
man.
Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you for these
It's
moments, man.
funny because I feel like we've had some better discussions since 2021,
I
but the
bet.
channel was definitely at its like most active, highest viewers and
Mhm.
stuff like that in that era. And I know part of that is just like the COVID drop off, like
Yeah.
there's just less people sitting inside, but it's kind of a shame
Hey, man,
in
it's
that
because
regard.
I don't call you short anymore. Remember those Twitter memes I sent of you
Oh
as a
my
dwarf?
God.
Oh
When
man.
this man was trying to push the short Anarchy narrative, that was wild.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Mhm.
Oh man. Oh Coyote. Now being part of the panel back in the day, you were like in the chats. You were you were drawing too.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Oh
dude.
man.
I did a lot of crazy shit. I drew Anarchy. with Awuga eyes for Smurf.
Oh my
But-
God.
We could possibly have a Church of MHA retrospective too at some point,
Mhm.
just because
Man, for sure.
Yeah.
there's because like once the church like once My Hero's over, outside of the My Hero retrospective stream,
Mhm.
that's it. Like there's not really a good reason for another Church of MHA episode outside of a My Hero movie. And maybe if we want to like
The
do
anime.
stuff for when the anime is around.
Mhm.
So that's kind of it.
Or the spin-offs to explore those.
Yeah, like I guess it's some spin-offs, but like yeah.
Africa is gonna be there.
So from that perspective, like we are kind of moving towards the end of an era for us too. But speaking of the end of an era, we're supposed to go do some Mother's Day stuff, so I gotta start wrapping up here so that my wife can be celebrated properly for birthing her child.
No.
So,
Hey,
uh,
happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you. All
So
the mothers
first
in the
off-
chat.
yes, happy Mother's Day to any moms we got. I feel like we don't have a lot of like okay. I feel like where I'm at in my life doesn't line up with where a lot of my audience is in life, but I think that's okay. I think most of you are in your 20s still, so that I feel good
Thomas
about
is
that.
a twink.
I feel
That's-
good
What
about most
the-
of my audience.
Don't. Oh my God. He was trying to do a touching speech.
I know that Thomas isn't a twink though, because Thomas ends up shaving hooves. So I know he's
Yeah.
at least got the forearms of a bronze Greek statue.
I
Wait,
am
what?
the true. I am All Might. In actuality.
But I do appreciate everybody who, even though you're, like you kind of just been riding along with me on this journey. And I appreciate those of you who have been here for a very long time. Yeah, Tanisha, Tanisha, every time you say you're 51, I'm like surprised because I'm just like, oh yeah, like, you're out here like, hey, oh, Endot's about to be 30. Okay, 29. Okay, so we do have some people close. I'm 31, so
I'm 28, so I'm going.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought
29.
Tanisha was like 32 or something. I ain't gonna cat.
Wait, what'd you say, Mpanzu?
I'm 28. 28.
Old man.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
all
24 here.
and it's kind of funny because like a lot of you are locked in my mind closer to like the ages where I met you.
Mhm.
So like now that we're having this conversation, I know that Coyote should be like 21 or 22 right now.
Somewhere. I don't even remember how old I am. I'm not gonna lie.
But like I know that when Tarnish started coming on, he was like 18.
Yes, back in the
But that
day.
was like 2 or 3 years ago, so he's like 21 now.
Mhm.
Man. I think East is like 27, 28 now.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly even 29, but
Yeah, because he's 97. He's from 97. Oh shit, it's winning.
yeah, so yeah, no, like actually Sayas might be 32. Or not like 32, but like 32, like TOO.
Serious? He's not my age. I thought he was my age.
I thought Sayas was like a year or two older than you.
Oh,
Fun
okay.
fact, I have screenshots from that one day we all sat, like you, me, and Sayas sat in a VC for like an extra 8 hours after stream.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have like
remember that one.
screenshots of the three of us.
Just, talk,
But yeah.
just talking, and I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had a really great conversation. We were talking about our live sharing stuff because here we were
Whoa. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That feels kind of cool. Like the fact that you were in high school when you started like watching this, and now I'm guessing you've either graduated college or are
Yeah.
close to college or are in the workforce, Cameron Bailey. I don't know what you're doing, but like, don't spray me with that. Do not spray me with that.
Spray him with it.
Oh, do not give me a perpetual allergy attack for the next 12 hours. Oh.
Like, I was 14 when I jumped into My Hero. The first chapter dropped. I read it. I've been in love with it ever since. So 10 years with the series.
Yeah.
And I joined the church's Discord when Deku Black started. The Dark Hero arc, the Great
It's
arc.
funny.
And I
feel like
joined the War arc, the streams, I think halfway through the War arc.
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say, I
something
feel
like
like I've been seeing you sooner, so
that.
like I feel like I've interacted with you sooner than you were like actually in the
Oh,
Discord.
absolutely. I've been watching the church like kind of like as a spectator.
So
Yeah. Sure. I joined around like the early parts of the war.
no,
I remember.
Coyote's a super early
Mm-hmm.
viewer. Coyote, you might have been here before I actually started doing regular streams. Now that I think about it,
Yeah, I remember just lurking for a lot of shit. I was
Mm.
waiting my time to clown on some people in fucking. Once the Discord activated, I started clowning on characters.
Hey, Nifisa.
in the feast. All right. But for real, I gotta wrap up so we can
Yeah.
go get our coffee and stuff.
Mhm.
I promised my wife a collectivo day, and where
Please,
and she's
These
got
are
her
important
eyebrows and
times.
stuff. So,
Mhm.
Seth, final thoughts?
Um, yeah. So as one of the newer members, I think I joined like partway through this current arc actually. So, but it's been a blast, and I just, of course, wanted to say thank you for allowing me to experience the chapter like this with you guys. You guys have been such a wonderful community to hang out with, and I wanted to thank you again for allowing me on. Um,
Tim, Seth, I love you.
thank you. This chapter, um, let's see. I said before, but there's this somberness to it, just knowing that we are approaching the end. That said, it was still very moving. And just seeing All Might and Inko cheer Deku on, the praise was heavy and hit hard, despite being relatively simple. Like there isn't a lot of nuance to talk about with the actions or the visuals, but it's just pure emotional, and it hits hard. So I was very satisfied with it. There is still some intrigue. We don't quite know what was going on with All for One at the very end there that I'm looking forward to unpacking. Definitely looking forward to seeing how Tenko is saved because I don't think the series ends without it. Despite anything All for One says, he's probably the most unreliable of all our narrators. So I definitely don't want to take his word for anything. Uh, but it was still cool actually seeing him grow to acknowledge Deku, what makes him different and unique. Normally, I myself don't really buy the whole weakness is our strength kind of thing because that's like, it feels more like a slogan than an actual substantive thing. But I like what Horikoshi did in that people seeing Deku being vulnerable and yet still doing his best. Like those two things are what's important here. Deku is making an effort despite being weak and vulnerable. And that's what moves people. That quote unquote weakness that people see, wait, I can help. And that's what spurs people to action. I like that. That's very well done. And that actually is pretty nuanced, isn't it? But Horikoshi makes it look so easy. And it's a cool distinction between Deku and All Might, of course, because All Might was so competent that no one stepped up to help, whereas Deku is not on that level, but his spirit is what is pushing people forward, and that is great. Honestly, a wonderful Deku chapter, and yeah, those are my thoughts for now. Thanks again for having me on, guys.
No problem,
Glad to have
Seth.
you here, Seth. Let's roll through. Let's see. Coyote, you want to give your final thoughts?
Fuck no, I'm gonna draw women.
All right. To-
hey. I hope that you can hear me better now because I'm
Mhm.
using a higher voice. Allez, I just upped my volume. So yeah,
We can
thank you
hear
for
you
everything.
perfectly.
So thank you, Aniki, for everything. The whole team, the whole family, literally. I'm really happy to be in part of that community. Allez, I was really lonely when I met you all guys. It's more almost a 5 year, 5 year. You give you breath more life to me, and you reminded me that I still can talk to people and that I have valuable ideas that I can that I can be understood. And I thank you all for that. Oh man, this chapter was amazing. Uh, it brought me back to why I wanted to talk about this series every day when I had the chance to. When I was that I was making theories about this whole fantasy scene, how fascinated I was by My Hero Academia back in the day. And Haneke gave me a chance to talk about it, to clash my ideas with multiple people. And Horikoshi, this chapter that he wrote today made me tear up as a he's one of the only writer that I have that I had tears when I was just reading the chapter. I mean, it felt like I had tears because maybe I didn't have tears, but it felt like I was. Uh, that's how good that he can strike my chord emotionally. So great chapter. I can't wait to see the rest. But if My Hero Academia stopped it today, I would have. For the moment, my feeling will be I am at peace. I will say, because at the end we are back to the core of the story. It's not about the theory, the whole complicated history stuff about the power. It's all about Deku trying to save people, trying to instill to a better future. It is really amazing. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, man, we love you too, man. Thank you for coming.
Thomas?
Hi. Um, well, how can I so obviously I love the chapter a lot. I mentioned that it is kind of a love letter to Izuku Midoriya, to Deku, as not only a hero, but as a person. Every person he is inspired is in this chapter. Obviously, one of them is missing, but we'll see him eventually. Um, I don't think we've talked about Ayama. Seeing Ayama's like goofy little smile, cheering on Deku. It's adorable. I am really excited to see what happens with Kurogiri Shirakumo. Seeing his fate, because I assume once we see him again, or at least like once the war's over, it's gonna be it for him. Unless they figure out a way to help him with like Nomu Tech. Um, I love this. I love seeing like all the little background characters, like seeing Yoshino and Tatagane, I believe that's her name. The his girlfriend, the one who can like shrink her body and like
Yeah,
push it in on
telescopic.
itself. Yeah, telescopic, that's it. Um, it's great seeing them again. Um, I love seeing manga go ba 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 bam, like kind of shooting at all for one. Kind of like Star Platinum with the punches. Really cool. I love seeing the 2A hero student. I don't know what her name is, but I assume people know. I completely forget it. Um
Oh, from the second year?
yeah, second year. I love the smile on Hagakure's face is very Bakugo-esque. Like she looks feral. And seeing Kaminari sure, he didn't get his lightning sword, but he got to be a part of a railgun. Like that's so cool. Um, Probably a lot more impressive than the Searching series. Um, but yeah, I just really enjoyed this chapter and how it's like perfectly aligned with the opening. How everyone's like pushing Deku forward, and even like Ida pushing him forward is identical. Um, But yeah, I just seeing everyone that Deku is inspired, seeing his growth from like the beginning of the series to now, it's night and day. Um, and yeah, I'm I'm kind of dreading the last chapter because I'm gonna miss these characters. But seeing them reach like the hero status that they have been like studying and training for, they all got to show off why they are here as heroes. And not to mention, also a little shout out, Rhodey. got shown in this chapter. And I really like Rhodey. And if you haven't watched World Heroes Mission, you should, because it's a great movie. And if you haven't watched the episode, okay, you should watch it after the dinner that you're gonna have. But yeah, overall, great chapter. Like the stream if you can. Drink some water, eat some foods. Also, Deku goes. That's it.
All right. Thank you, everybody that came through. I'm gonna get ready to go. I appreciate everybody who's come through, who's been here. Anybody who's been on this journey, we're gonna ride out to the end though. Thank you guys for coming up.